Hey guys, welcome to another video. I just made this setup and try to do good lighting over there. Give me some props on what you guys think. I don't look the best today. I just I just did an interview actually, and I kind of had to rush to do that interview, and then I made the setup for this interview, and I thought I might as well also knock two stones in one and film this skincare routine that I have. And I think that is pretty important to let you guys know how I have kind of better my skin over the past couple of years. Right now, you can see some acne scars. I did put a little bit of concealer under my eye, but you can see there, and I put concealer here. That's still kind of red, and I didn't want that to be the main focus of my interview because I was looking kind of crazy. But I did take some video and I think some photos last night. I'll just get into that a little bit later, but I'll get started on telling you what my journey has been like for my skincare routine. I do have some old photos that I would love to share with you guys from New Orleans. This was the height of my bad acne. I mean, literally, okay? I will definitely insert some photos. So I'm gonna insert them here. So at the time of these photos, I was in New Orleans and I was just experiencing humidity and constantly sweating. And my skin was just super bad. I would get really big boils on my skin. I would get really big whiteheads, and they would just be so big and red on my face, and they would look irritated. And I literally hated them so much that I would just constantly try to cover them up with makeup. And then there were some days where it would be fine, and then it would just get worse again. And I could not figure out for the better of me what the problem was, because my skin was never bad before then. And I knew at that time I was 18, 19 and I was young. But definitely I felt oh, I must be getting adult acne or something. But I was not with it. I had never experienced acne in my life, and for it to just all of a sudden pop up and me not having my smooth skin anymore really bothered me. I still don't have smooth skin. It's not it's amazing, because it's not. I still have pimples up here that I have that have just been chilling out, and then I have acne scars, and I get pimples here, and I get acne scars and pimples here, and my chin area is one place where I get consistent a pimple here, kind of that. But that's also with hormonal stuff. So I do I'll break out when I have my period. It's pretty normal for most girls. But it was definitely just interesting to see that I was having such bad acne in New Orleans. So I started just buying cheap things and I think it made it a lot worse. My friends would just be oh, try this. Well, you need to wash your face more, or you need to do this. And I would go, I don't know if you guys know this thing, and it smells so weird. I would get scrubs and harsh washing things for my face, and it would just make my skin super dry and super irritated. My face would be red, it would be picky, dry and flaky. It was not working. So that's like how my acne was just like really bad. It was just bad at that point. And a lot of people told me it wasn't that bad, but to me it was bad. Like, you can't tell me that your acne to you, when you have like, when you've gone with no acne your whole life, and then all of a sudden you have like acne on your cheeks and your forehead and on your chin, like, that's a big difference for me, right? But like, I totally understand if someone had like severe acne, that my situation would look like freaking a walk in a park. But for me, it was just like, I've never experienced it before. Like, how do I get rid of it? That's what I was going through my mind. So a lot of people would say I was not that bad, but for me it was a lot. It was really bad. So yeah, I do want to talk about a time I was in college, and this was before New Orleans, actually. I forgot about this, but I did have some problems on my face, and I was just having a little bit of acne there, but it wasn't that bad. And I went to the dermatologist and I was like, can I get on Accutane? And she was like, yeah, sure. And she gave me Accutane. The reason why I stopped taking Accutane was because I was in college, didn't feel like going back home every month to go get a pregnancy test, didn't feel like I had like dryness and it would just crack my lips. I didn't feel like that was good for me. So I stopped Accutane literally maybe like 2 months after. And it cleared my skin, I would say, but it wasn't like drastic. I still had bumps. But it became drastic, like pretty bad in New Orleans. So I just wanted to add that in there. So after New Orleans, the pandemic hit and I moved back home. But this time home was in Jacksonville. So it was still kind of like hot and humid here. My acne was still bad. I was working in Amazon at that time, and my acne was just, it was kicking it. I was wearing a mask. It got worse because literally like this whole part would just get really bad because of how bad my acne was. And it like the mask just like heightened that of how bad it was. So at that point I was getting so tired. I felt like I was trying everything. My parents were like, it's not that bad, but try this, or like do this. So I tried a lot of things before I settled on what I have now, and I really want to be able to share this with you guys. So at the time I was working at Amazon, and I decided, why not try this constant commercial that's coming up on my YouTube. Everyone's talking about it. Everyone's having a sponsorship by this thing, and it was Curology. And I decided Curology was going to be the best fit for me. And I was like, okay, this is not sponsored, by the way. It's not sponsored. I don't use Curology anymore, so I'm just going to explain to you at this time. At that time, I decided to try Curology. And Curology is pretty nice and easy. And on those bottles, it tells you the ingredients of what's inside. And my skin was like it was clearing up, but then it wouldn't clear up that good. I don't know how to explain it to you, but it wasn't like, I would still get bumps on my cheeks and my chin, and it was just like, it's not really doing much. I'm not really understanding, but it also at the same time worked, if that makes sense. So after a while, Curology is like $60 a month for like the full bottles. So I decided I was gonna look at these ingredients, and I saw that people were hyping about how cheap The Ordinary was and how good it was. And I was like, yeah, I'm gonna give that a try. Look at the ingredients on my Curology and just order them in these like, you know, bottles or whatever. This is like one. And try those out, try the different Curology, even try the Ordinary products. So I brought like the toner, I brought niacinamide, the azelaic acid, and the hyaluronic acid. So I actually, in the beginning, I was like super hype about it, and I like just used everything and all over my face. And my skin was super irritated. So I was like, maybe I shouldn't do that. So I would try one product at a time. And I started out with the toner, and I realized very quickly that my face, it was too sensitive to it. It would get like a chemical burn. I had like several of those. And so I had to be like, no toner for me. So everyone's different. If you use toner, that's totally cool. I personally can't use toner, and the reason why is just because my face is really sensitive. I do have like, my skin in general is really sensitive. So I just don't do kind of like a chemical, like a harsh chemical like that, but it might not be harsh for you, but it is harsh for me. And then azelaic acid, I really liked, and I definitely used that, and that helped clear up, but it still wasn't like really that good. And then hyaluronic acid, it's really good for like, I think moisture and stuff like that. Don't clock me on that, I'm not really good at that. But it gave me like little tiny like pimples on my cheeks and stuff. And so I was like, well, maybe hyaluronic acid is not for me. Like it would just give me like little whiteheads on my face, which I constantly have for some reason. Like I still get like little whiteheads that I just kind of pick at personally. Okay. So then I finally settled on niacinamide. Now, the reason why I did that was because I realized that my skin really liked that. really liked the niacinamide. It made it less red, it calmed down my face. I'll get like a breakout and I just throw some niacinamide on there, and it's freaking amazing. Now, hyaluronic acid does give me, I think the serum gives me tiny bits of like whiteheads on my face, but in these products they do have hyaluronic acid, and I think because that they're not, I think because I use all three of these products together and I put a lot of niacinamide on my face, that it just helps even it out. So it doesn't cause me those little pimples, and the niacinamide just helps calm that down. Whereas the hyaluronic acid is able to give me moisture in my face. So I also noticed certain foods were causing me acne, a lot of greasy food. So I started cutting out greasy food. And just like really just watching yourself and your eating habits are very important, because you just never know. Like, I feel like I've definitely learned a lot about my body recently, and certain things just make me feel sick, and I've tried to avoid those certain foods. I definitely one day want to go and get a sensitivity test, a food sensitivity test, because I feel like my stomach and just like my skin and stuff is definitely sensitive to things like that. So the next thing I'm going to talk about is actually, I think I've seen it on TikTok and also on YouTube. I say CeraVe, I think that's what it's called, and it's like my favorite 2 products that I consistently use. Now, I would say my skin is pretty oily. It collects a lot of oil throughout the day. My forehead constantly is shining, my chin area shining, hair kind of shining. So that's where most of my acne is actually, because it's pretty oily there. So I use these two things to help. Now, if you guys know, oily skin also means that you have dry skin. And that is because your face is overproducing oil because it's dry. So I've kind of learned that, and I thought that my oily skin, like I had to make it like matter, but I've learned that I don't have to do that. It's really that I need to moisturize it so that it doesn't overproduce oil. So I've definitely learned a lot about that. That may not make sense to most people, but it makes sense to me. Definitely, I'm not an expert at this, so look into it as much as you can. So there's two products that I usually use, and this is the foaming cleanser, facial cleanser by CeraVe, and it's for normal to oily skin. It cleanses and removes oils without disrupting the protective skin barrier, which is also very important. After going through trial and error, I realized that my skin barrier was horrendous. And that's also probably what played into me getting like a chemical burn from the toner, was because my skin barrier was like already like really bad, because of all the stupid stuff that I was just throwing on my face. So I don't recommend doing that ever again. So with this foaming cleanser, it has 3 essential ceramides, so niacinamide and hyaluronic acid. You can kind of like look back here and kind of like look at it. It has like citric acid in there. Has a lot of stuff in here that I don't even know what to tell you about, but it's pretty good. I realized that this facial cleanser really cleans my face, but doesn't make me completely dry. Sorry. So I realized that this just doesn't make my face completely like feel like it's tight and dry, but it also makes me feel clean, which is super nice. And then the next thing that I go in after I wash my face, I have a little bit of water on my face. I go in with the Ordinary niacinamide 10%, plus zinc, which is I think 1%. So I hope you guys can see that. This is like $6 per bottle. I think, I'm not really sure how much this one is, but on average I will spend like maybe 8 to 13. This is like the 8 fluid ounce bottles. Sometimes I get the 12, but I must have spent like maybe $8 on that, or 9. So this is like $6 or $7. You can get it at Ulta, you can order it on Walmart. This is best. I've ordered it straight from the Ordinary too, and you can get a lot of things on the Ordinary website. They're pretty good. So what's nice about them is that only 2 ingredients in here. Like, there's nothing else. It's really simple, and I like that about the Ordinary. The CeraVe one, you know, had a lot of stuff, but this one's pretty good. So basically what this does, I think it tells you somewhere over here. I guess it's on the box. I don't have the box. That's fine. But basically it helps with like your pores, kind of like your redness a little bit. For me, that's what it does. It helps with my pores and my redness with my pimples. It really just like helps them. Like, I've taken a video last night, and I think I showed you guys in the beginning that you could just see that the redness has like completely calmed down, and that my face isn't as inflamed as it was yesterday. And literally in 2-3 days, like my face will be way calmer. It'll be nice, it'll be good. So yeah, I hype up this. And then I use the CeraVe Daily Moisturizing Lotion, and this is for normal to dry skin. Now, you will see here it says for normal to oily skin, for normal to dry skin. When you're oily, you are also dry. So this also has 3 essential ceramides and hyaluronic acid. So does this have niacinamide in it? This does not have niacinamide in here. I don't see it. So that also plays a big factor, because sometimes I will forget to buy this for like a little bit, and then I would just use these 2, and then my face would kind of like break out a little bit after a while. So then I would have to go and get this again. So definitely it's my 3 products combined that really have helped my skin glow. Like literally all 3 of those combined. Again, my skin is not perfect. It still breaks out consistently. And that's because I don't have the healthiest eating habits. Sometimes I like eating greasy food. Sometimes I like a lot of dairy. Sometimes I generally just am not eating the best, and that's what's bad. And sometimes you're just gonna have breakouts, and that's normal. You're not always gonna have smooth skin. We all can wish for it, but I think sometimes you're just gonna get that once in a while odd pimple that's just gonna break you out, and it's fine. I've definitely come to terms with having acne on my face, but I also have come to terms that I can make a difference on it, and I can change it whenever I feel like it. So it's definitely just up to you, and trial and error. This has definitely helped me. If your skin type was like me and you destroyed your skin barrier, I definitely recommend CeraVe. And if you have pimples that are big and red, I definitely recommend niacinamide. That is like the holy grail for me. It helps my skin just calm down. And you know, you'll see your face just be red the night before, and then you go to sleep, and you use that right before you go to sleep, and wake up and your face is like 2 times like less red. But you know, you still have your pimples there maybe, but it will definitely calm down that redness that you have. So I swear by these things. I love them, and I definitely swear by them. So if you have any acne, first of all, love yourself, appreciate it. But you know, you can always fix that, but it doesn't define you as a person. And I actually had to figure that out for myself, because I was just like, oh my god, I have acne, and all people see is my acne. And I learned that that's not the case. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll definitely be seeing you guys very soon. This setup right here is not gonna be forever, but it's cute, right?